Hey YouTube, what's up? XpoLarX here, come back at you with another video, and today I'm going to be doing my Utopia deck profile. Now this is pure Utopia, no Zexal weapons, no nothing, but basically what this is, it's very similar to my Zexal weapon deck, except it's just all the Zexal weapons are taken out for like some extra rank 4 spam stuff, things like INOV Fire, Fairy Tale Snow, etc, etc. So without further ado, let's get started, but before I want to start, I would like to, because I'm probably going to forget to do this to the very end, it's going to sound like out of order and rush, this mat, I said this in my last video about my Black Wings combos video, but depending on which one gets published first, you know, whatever. But, this mat, very proud of it. I made it myself, Photoshop, and a lot of people at locals have been asking me, hey, can I buy the mat from you? Answer is no, but what I do intend on doing is for you guys in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and whoever watches these videos, I can Photoshop you a picture of the mat, obviously, the zones and stuff. That I can't do that. I'm not that skilled. The printers do that for me. But basically, what I can do is I can Photoshop you this, and free of charge, I can you just do some communicating with me. I can Photoshop you a picture of whatever, make a mat of whatever. And then I'll send it off to you, and then you can go to eRolls, I think that's how you pronounce it, eRolls.com, down below in the description box, and you can order your custom mat there. I think it's around $21. I mean, if you want the options, it may or may not be a bit more, but I know minimum it's like $21. Again, with the zones and all that, it's $21, eRolls.com. I'm not being sponsored by them or anything, but that's just what I did to make these two, this mat and my Black Wings mat. And yeah, that's about it. So that's all I wanted to discuss before we hop into the video. I'm going to leave in the description box below our email that you can communicate this through, and also that, and also the website where I bought my mats. So without further ado, let's hop into this deck profile. So like I said, this is going to be like my ZW deck, except just with a few changes, taking out the ZWs and adding some other stuff. So yeah. Okay, so first we're going to go into the monsters, and we're going to start with my 3-ofs. I run 3-star drawing, very similar to my my Zexal weapon deck, and what this does, for those of you who haven't seen that, I do recommend you go check it out. But what this does is, when you use it as an Xyz material, you can draw a card. It can also be treated as a little 5 or Xyz summon, so yeah, very, very good. You can bring this out with Summoner Monk, Goblin Bird, Tin Goldfish, and it's a spellcaster, so it helps you with the Gigabyte in Inari Fireplace. I run 3 Hat Trigger, and when there's 2 monsters just on the board, on your opponent's field or on yours, you can special summon it, so that's really good. It also helps you with the rank 4 play, so that's really nice. Another thing, I'm running triple Gigabyte. This, when you control spellcaster type monster, you can special summon it from your hand. It's also searchable through King of the Feral Imps, so that's why I run 3 of them. And that's basic. And a lot of the deck is spellcasters. The only ones that aren't are the reptiles, the Gigabytes, and like some of the other things, like the things that you summon from your hand, like Tin Goldfish, Goblin Bird, and the Inari Fire isn't spellcaster, obviously, but that, I mean, if you control spellcaster, you special summon it, and the Kage Tokage is, I mean, if you normal summon it at level 4, etc. But I'll get into that later. That's it for the 3-ofs. So I'm just going to put those off to the side. For my 2-ofs, I run 2 Goblin Bird. Very self-explanatory. When you summon it, special summon a level 4 from your hand, and then switch it to defense mode. Really good for the rank 4 decks. Summoner's Monk, I run 2 of them, because this helps you, if you have some spells that in your hand that you can't necessarily use, like your extra instant fusion, or exchange tactics because you already have one on board, you can ditch it and then special summon level 4 from your deck. Typical targets are Sacred Crane, and the Fairy Tale Snow, or the Trick Clown, or the Kage Tokage, or the Star Drawings, or really anything. Just depends. in the situation. Again, I run 2 Kage to Kage. When you normal summon a monster, level 4 monster, special summon from your hand. Fairly self-explanatory, also searchable, but you typically, when you given the option, you search for Gigabyte instead. 2 tin goldfish, again, same reason I'm running the 2 Goblinberg. Also, I'm running 2 of the Performance Trick Clown. When it's sent to the graveyard, either detached its Xyz material sent there by a card effect or of some sort. You can special summon it by paying 1,000, and its attack points drop to 0. And also, it doesn't have to be Trick Clown. If you have a hat trick in your graveyard, you can go for that. But preferably, you would want to go for Trick Clown, just because if it's sent there on your opponent's turn, you bring it back. And then if it's so yeah. I also run 2 of Inari Fire. Same reason I run 3 of Gigabyte, but this isn't searchable. So, I mean, I just run that because it's just really easy to spam the field with this and Gigabyte and then make your plays. So that. And then I'm going to go into the rest of my monster count, which is my one-ofs. And I run Sacred Crane. Typically, you go into this from the deck. This is your first target from Summoner Monk. When it's special summoned, you draw a card. Also, if you have this in hand with a Goblinberg or 10 Goldfish and you special summon, you can also draw it that way. I run 1 Fairy Tale Snow. If it's in your graveyard, banish your 7 cards and special summon it. This is actually really, really good because if you have, it's not a once per duel way. And when it's normal or special summon, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change the face-down defense position, so that's also really good. And then the last monster I run is Gameciel, and obviously it's a kaiju, so you get to tribute off your opponent's monsters, and just problematic things you can't get over with your other monsters. So that's monsters for the most part. I'm just gonna whoop up. Looks somewhat fancier. I'm just gonna fix that. So that's my monsters. Now I'm gonna go into spells. I run 2 Xyz Change Tactics. I would run 3, but I don't have a 3rd. But again, it's a really nice card. This is basically, because I play Black Wings, I'm gonna make this reference, but this is the Black Whirlwind of the deck. Every time you summon a Utopia monster, you pay 500 to draw a card. This gets your plays going, because it's a +3 after you make a Utopia Lightning, just pay 1,500 life points, which is a pretty, it's a small cost in this game, unless you're playing a burn deck, obviously. So 2 Instant Fusion. Again, this is to bring out Norden, and that's it. The only reason I run 2 is to just hopefully draw into it, and then if you have a Summoner Monk with your extra Instant Fusion, you can dump it to summon out something from your deck. I run 2 Xyz Gift. The reason I run this, what you could do is you can drop one of these to run a 3rd Xyz Change Tactics, but you at least want to run 1. But if you do want to run your 3rd Xyz Change Tactics, you drop it for your Xyz Gift. But the reason why you run 2 of these is if there's say there's a lightning on board with your some things, and maybe extra King of the Pharaohs or something like that. Actually, or a better combo like Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, you can target any of the Xyz materials that you have on board. Just detach 2 of them from any of the monsters. That means maybe 1 from Utopia and 1 from King of the Pharaohs, or 2 from Dark Rebellion, and then draw 2 cards. But you do have to have 2 Xyz monsters on board to do this. But still, it's a +2 for detaching 2 Xyz materials, which isn't bad, considering that you can detach 1 from either Xyz monster, or however that's going to work. So, that, I run 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. Like I said, I try to keep, like you guys know about me, I like to keep my deck's budget, but if you want to run Twin Twisters instead, be my guest. This helps you. The Twin Twisters helps you, dump cards in the graveyard and pop 2 cards, which is really good. But I prefer just to run the 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, just because. So that's, and then before we get into the rank ups, I run 1 Foolish. This is really just to dump cards like Fairy Tale Snow, or cards that you can use in the graveyard, like a Trick Clown or that kind of sort. But otherwise, that's it for the spells, and now I'm going to go into the rank ups. So I'm going to do this little ribbon spread I got there. Okay. So as far as rank ups go, I run 2 Variance Force. this is getting exceedingly better, especially as the use of Xyz monsters goes up, because what you can do is you can target one of your Utopias. So just for per se, you have this with 2 extra overlay units because you had to make Utopia. Activate it, and then you go into either Ray or Ray V or Utopia Ray Victory. Excuse me. And then you can snatch one of your opponent's Xyz materials if they have any. So that's really good. And also you can discard this if you have, like, per se, like Utopia Ray V with some overlay units, and then you can discard this from your hand if you have particularly no use for it, and then go into your SO Utopia X. So that. Also, for the same reason, run 2 rank up magic Numeron forces, but typically you run this when you're not winning the duel, and typically, per se, like, your opponent's field is a lot better than yours, and you don't really have many cards on board. You activate this, and then the same reason you go, like, from here, like, just for per se, I have this on board, overlay, go into Utopia, then Utopia Ray, activate Numeron Force, then go into, like, Ray V and or Ray Victory, your pick. And then if you have an extra rank up, you can go into SO. So that's typically what you would do there. But yeah, this negate. Otherwise, though, it actually has a really good effect. Instead of stealing your monster's overlay, or your opponent's monster's overlay units, you can actually negate all the cards on the field except for the monster you just went into. So that's really, really good if you come to think about it, because say, like, your opponent has, like, Boo Jinki Tsuyomi and like an ABC Dragon Buster and, like, some other crazy card, you're probably gonna want to negate most of that, or like a Dark Law Totally Awesome Bahamut Shark. You're gonna want to negate those effects to get your monster and get your monster out too. Also, you can pitch these for SO, like I said earlier, so that's why I run that. And another, people typically wouldn't run this in Utopia builds, but I do, just to go into Dark Requiem, because it's actually a pretty good card. The Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch. Also, pretty self-explanatory. The only reason you would activate this, like actually play the card, is if your Dark Rebellion has no overlay units, and then you can rank it up into Dark Requiem, and then slap this on as an overlay unit. That's the main play you would do with that. But otherwise, you can also pitch this to make SO as well. So that. And that's all I have for spells. And I'm only running 2 traps. And because because I want to keep this deck budget friendly, it's Storming and Solemn. Again, pretty self-explanatory, but you could probably drop, like, an Xyz gift and the Sea Turtle Kaiju for your 2 strikes. But you know, I only have 1 strike, and that's in my Black Wings deck. So, and that's where it'll stay. So, otherwise, that's it for traps, and then we'll go into our extra deck. So, as far as my extra deck goes, I run I can't talk. I run 1 Elder Entity Norden, pretty self-explanatory. Target a level 4, special summon it from your graveyard. Typically, your target would be Star Drawing. Even though its effects are negated, you can still overlay into your Dark Rebellion and or Utopia. And you still get the draw effect of Star Drawing, because that's if it's used as an overlay unit, that's not a field effect. So that's really, really good. That's typically why you run Norden. That's it for fusions, and the rest of the extra deck is Xyz. So, the first Xyz monsters I'd like to go over is Dark Rebellion and Dark Requiem. First off, Dark Rebellion on its own is a great card. Detach 2 to run over your, steal half your monster's attack points, which is really good. That helps get over, like, big beaters and stuff. And then Dark Requiem is actually a really good card, but not a lot of people know what it specifically does. So I'm gonna go over its text effect really fast. So if it has Dark Rebellion as Xyz material, it gains these effects. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0, and then have this gain the original monster's attack. So that's really, really good. If you, per se, like, your opponent's ABC, or, like your opponent's ABC has already used its effect, you can activate Requiem's effect, detach it, and like make its attack 0 and have it gain a lot of attack. This is really good for like on boss monsters and stuff, and the second effect just makes it even better. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, just any monster effect, it doesn't have to target anything, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. Then you can special summon one Xyz monster from your graveyard, which you're probably going to have an Xyz monster in your graveyard because you have Dark Rebellion. You're going to probably detach Dark Rebellion for that effect, and that way you get a free Dark Rebellion on the field. Or you could go into one of your Utopias that has no overlay units, then immediately go into Ray and then Lightning on your turn, or on your opponent's turn, depending on when they activate the effects. So that is why I run both of these. Obviously, you need the rank up magic card to go into both of those, but yeah, still. Really good cards. I really like running in this deck. King of the Feral Imps, that's mainly to search out the Gigabytes, and if you run out of targets for that, Kage Tokage it isn't a bad search, but it isn't your best search, but still you can go into it. So next I go into Utopia Zexal, and I run this card because it's like amazing. First off, it gains 1,000 attack points for every overlay unit it has, which is really, really good. And then you can detach on your opponent's turn, and they basically can't play Yugioh. They can't activate cards or effects, but they can still summon monsters and stuff, so yeah, that's that. Since this is Utopia deck, obviously you're running through Utopia. This is pretty self-explanatory as far as that goes, so I'm not going to go into detail about that. I run one Utopia Ray. It gets you out of a tight spot if you need it, but you typically use it for overlay units as Utopia, for extra overlay units for Utopia Lightning and the other Utopia evolutions such as Ray and Ray Victory, which is really good. They're really good depending on the situation. This you can detach one Xyz material, target one monster your opponent controls, burn your opponent for that monster's attack points, which is pretty good. And then when it's destroyed, you can target one, excuse me, when it's destroyed, you can target one Xyz material, or one Xyz monster in your graveyard, return that to your extra deck, which is pretty good. That's actually a really good effect. And then this basically says your opponent can't activate cards or effects during battle step, and then if it has a Utopia as an overlay unit, you can detach, have this gain the monster's attack points, which is pretty good. For the rest of the extra deck, I run 2 Prime, and the reason I run this is basically it can get you out of a tight spot if necessary, but you probably won't use that effect as much. But the main reason I run this is because to get extra overlay units for this guy, and obviously the 2 Utopia Lightning, because, you know, that effect was like OP. I don't really need to explain what Utopia Lightning does. It's really self-explanatory and why I'm running it, and yeah, that's basically it. So thank you guys for watching the video. Like I said, if you guys want a mat or want me to make you a mat, go ahead, email us, and I hope you really enjoyed the deck profile. But that's it for today, or tonight, whenever you're watching this video. Regardless, XpoLarX signing out.